Hello everyone, welcome back to St Mary's, and we're thinking about tomorrow, which is Sunday the 23rd of April. Now most of you won't need reminding, but some of you might, that of course is St George's Day. Well, it is for most of the country, and if my camerawoman pans up, you'll see it's actually a naval ensign after a particular member of our congregation. Of course, you've got the flag of St George there, the Red Cross, with the Union Jack in the middle of it. But that Red Cross comes from, first recorded in this country in the 1400s. The church being an odd thing as it is, because St George's feast always falls in the Easter season, Easter takes precedence over St George or any other saint, so they've moved St George for Church of England celebrations to Monday the 24th, but we will remember him tomorrow because, of course, we have our St George's Day service, which we have every year around this time on the fourth Sunday or thereabouts of April. And so the Cubs and the Scouts and the Beavers and the Explorers and Elliers will be coming to celebrate St George, and they'll be renewing their promises in the service. It's a funny old thing with St George because he's not, of course, English. He probably, if he existed, he probably was a Roman soldier. Died in the 4th century, possibly martyred for his faith, probably Palestinian. He died in a place called Lydda, or Diosopolis, I think it was called in Greek in that time, but a place called Lydda in Palestine. And he's an import, really. You could say he's a bit of an immigrant because he really became popular. Although he was known in this country in the sort of 700s, 800s, 900s, he really became popular because of the Crusades, because the Crusaders came back. And that's how St George became significant and replaced St Edmund of East Anglia and Edward the Confessor as the patron saint of this country. And so we celebrate St George. Of course, the story of St George slaying the dragon, the one thing everybody knows is, after all, a legend. It comes from the Golden Legend from medieval times, so it might be earlier than that. But there is something to be said about two things. One thing about Englishness, St George being the patron saint of England, not the United Kingdom, is we tend to confuse Englishness and Britishness, as if somehow they're the same, but they're not. And I think we're all rather confused about what is English and what's British. After all, Scots understandably bridle at being called British when certain things like, I don't know, porridge without salt in is mentioned. But also bravery and courage. There are different kinds of bravery. I'm going to explore them tomorrow. I'm not quite sure exactly how, but it isn't just a bravery about bearing arms, though we know about that through Ukraine, but about being prepared to stand up for what you believe in, despite the hail of abuse you might get either personally or more likely online. What do we mean by being brave? What do we mean by being sacrificial? Perhaps we'll find out a bit more tomorrow. Have a good St George weekend.